Nathan, pretty unexpected way to end a practice match. How are the players coping with it all?
They're all right. They're frustrated as you'd expect. It's not the perfect preparation, but like we kind of just, with our group in particular, it's around that mindset of what's next. So, once time permits, we'll make sure we get the miles into the boys so they're prepared. But ultimately, the AFL's made the call. So, we got half a game in. There'll be a few things to review out of it, but probably the main thing is most guys, bar one, got through unscathed.
So are you guys going to hang around now and then do some training?
Yeah, it looks like it. That's as far as everything I know at this point in time. I think Richmond are doing the same thing as well. I kind of come through a bit of an agreement, obviously, with the AFL. Clearly need to be cleared to be able to access the arena and stuff. But once we're safe to do so, that'll be the focus for, I think, both teams by the look of it.
What was the player reaction when you told them we're not playing anymore, but we have to do some training now?
I actually just walked past them on the way through. So look, it's I think that you just got to attack it with a positive mindset. If I'm putting myself in their shoes, I'd be like, bloody hell, you joke me. But I think if you're looking, bigger picture, this is an important day in particular for preparation for our round one game. So it's important from a high performance perspective that we get the miles in and the work in, because there's a pretty strategic plan in terms of being prepared for that game.
So 16 days then, I think it is. I think you're a Sunday match. So
yeah.
I guess you've got the time to try and make that up. Do you consider things like I suppose a scratch sort of bit out this week? What do you do?
Yeah, I think that's a given for us. But I think trying to chase the load. I'm not the expert in that space, but certainly had a fair bit of experience and exposure to it. So sort of trying to chase that load is an important thing. I think there's a plan in terms of managing players. And it's trying to stick to that as clear as you can, but remaining nimble and flexible. Now, we obviously didn't plan for this, but I think it's having that mindset and just remaining positive and being able to adjust. That's the key for our group. They'll have a couple of days off now, and then you kind of resume a normal week. Whereas you start to tweak it, it starts to look a bit different. So that'll be the focus. Trying to make sure we've got that continuity leading into that game.
We were oohing and ahhing in the press box watching the Lions.
Yeah, so were we in the coach's box.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. How did you guys sort of react watching it and then the game is still going?
I don't know. I was a bit confused. It's I think obviously the ruling is it can't be within 10k, and then even after the first time after we resumed, it looked like those cracks were a k away. But it is what it is. Obviously, that's not in our hands. We were enjoying the game, and as I said, we were keen to get something out of it. In the end, they've made the call from a safety point of view, and it is what it is. So you just move on and focus on what's next.
Might be too early to tell, but there's a VFL scratching tomorrow. Will you feed a few more boys in through that?
Not the guys that have come up here and participated in tonight's game. There is a couple of the boys that came up, particularly our younger guys, for the experience. They've already got on the road back home to prepare to play, but that was always the plan for them.
You mentioned Luca before, obviously. For him, are we... The
boys are obviously up and about for training. Yeah, that is our boys, I think.
How is Luca, I suppose?
Yeah, he was in a fair bit of pain. I think we've ruled out from a concussion perspective, but in a fair bit of pain, with his leg. What that is, we're not sure. He's gone to go and get that checked. Obviously once he's got scanned and we're pretty clear on what the injury is, we'll obviously relay that information. But the contest didn't look great, particularly with the way he landed on that leg. So, and like I said, he was in a fair bit of pain.
Just Jacob in the second quarter, 3 goals. Just reading in the pre-season, he sort of spoke about some of the challenges he had last year. Had a little stint back in the VFL.
Yeah.
Is this something that young forwards, I guess, go through? How you felt like you come out better place, a bit stronger mentally? Encouraging signs today to see him playing like that.
Yeah, that's a reflection of the pre-season he's had. You only have to look at him from a physical perspective without even watching him play. You can see his body's changed and he's matured, and that's a credit to him with the work he's put in. And he reset himself after what was probably a frustrating year for him. He's a high talent. Had a sort of semi-breakout year and was probably expecting even more, and that didn't come to fruition for him last season. So he went away and put the work in, and you start to reap the benefits of that. So he's in a terrific position to have a strong season. And it's a credit to him with the work he's done with Chappie, and from a physical fitness perspective, like he's in as good a shape as he could ever be.
Max Gord's been pretty vocal about the new ruck rule. How do you see his actual performance now he's been out on the park and experienced it for himself?
I think it was a bit overblown, his reaction, I reckon. He was sort of hamming it up for the cameras. To be honest, I didn't think he was going to struggle too much with it. Like, there'll be a little bit of adjustment with it, and it depends on how tight the AFL and umpiring is with regard to crossing that line, like how stringent they are. But I think Max will adjust, and all the rucks will adjust. I like the rule. I like the fact that the rucks are back jumping. I also love the fact that the umpires are throwing it up. So we see Max as a real valuable and dominant commodity in that midfield group. So hopefully it's an advantage for us.
You've kicked, I think by my quick maths, 31 goals in 1.5 games in the pre-season so far. Is that what we're going to see all year? Is this type of footy we're hoping?
I hope so. Obviously, like in behind all of that is how we train and prepare, and what we value as a team, defensively and around the ball, and how we set the ground up from a formation point of view. But we want to score. We want to play an exciting brand. We want to play to our players' strengths and put them in positions so they can explore their strengths, and that's the focus for us. So we're by no means a completed product, but we like the way we're trending, and we still see huge areas of opportunity to grow. But it's been impressive in the 6 and a bit quarters that we've played over the last couple of weeks, and all of the match practice and training we did in pre-season.
Just with I suppose with a new look at midfield to an extent. What did you see today? What did you like? I think Caleb Windsor had 10 touches in the first quarter, a couple of goal assists, and forward and kicked that late one.
I think the strength of that midfield group is now the strength of the group, if that makes sense. Like it's you've got a bit more depth. I think the profile of the group's absolutely changed in terms of just its ability to transition from a running power perspective. We still value obviously winning the ball, but the game's tweaked a bit in terms of your ability to be able to pressure and strip and win it back as much as it is win the ball and explode and explore on offense. So we've put some time into that, and we've exposed players to that, and I think that's evolving. Still opportunity for us to continue to get better in there, but it's exciting. Like, I think some of the boys in there have got huge upside and aren't super experienced, but we've also got some experience around them. I think Jack Steele looks like he's shaping up to have a really strong pre-season, I think, and he plays a pivotal role for us from an experience point of view in there. And Trent Rivers has had some exposure, but then it is the growth of those guys that you've mentioned, Harvey Langford and Caleb Windsor, and we've obviously seen Cozzy in there for a bit last year. He'll still spend some time in there and forward, so it's exciting. I'm loving it.
Thanks, Dave.
Awesome. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Get up,